Two in the back center for Dynasty getting pinched in right now.
That seems to be the move right now. A lot of people have been doubling up that back
CEP
center.
making a nice move to Snake. Mouse from Dynasty
doing a somersault into Snake 2.
He's got a core sample. I think he knows it. It's 3 down for CP. Mesa flying down the Doritos for Dynasty.
And here comes
Mouse coming through.
Yeah, so here comes Dynasty taking advantage, making some crisp moves. They've definitely been watching these games. So nice quick point by Team Dynasty to start this off. Ryan Greenspan grabbing that flag and running it in. Some additions to the Dynasty roster this season. They picked up Alex Goldman, a.k.a. Mouse, and a guy named, not a lot of people have heard of him, but picked up a rookie named Oliver Lang.
Yeah. Another dude named Mike Mesa from Aftermath. And actually 2 other dudes, named Anthony and Dalton, who's been a top rook pick for them.
Yeah, he's been on a couple different teams. He was on Vicious last season. He's played on Entourage. And you are now watching Chattanooga CEP taking on San Diego Dynasty here. First event of the PSP season at Galveston Island. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Nicky Cuba. And this should be an interesting matchup. And I'll tell you what, Chattanooga's first game, they played Impact, and they ended up losing by a point, but I was impressed. You know, I mean, they weren't exactly playing stellar. Impact wasn't playing stellar, but it was a hard-fought match. And, you know, to come in the rookie season, play arguably one of the best teams on the planet, and to only lose by a point in their first game, not bad.
Yeah. Now, it says a lot, you know. It says a lot for them to come in, lose by a point. I didn't get a chance to check out that game, but, you know, just listening to you, if they're coming in and they're winning points and they're being a competitive team out there and they're taking, you know, the 50-yard line bunkers and pressing, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, you know, and they were playing counterpunch paintball. They definitely made a couple aggressive moves, and Impact shot themselves in the foot a couple times. And ultimately did come out on top, but it was the fact that Chattanooga they didn't really ever say quit. They never, you know, they definitely stayed in the game. But we'll see how they do with Dynasty. They lost that quick point here in the first one that I still don't see on the board yet. So I don't know what is going on or if there was a penalty. I don't think so. Did you see a flag?
Nope.
No. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, with the. You know, one player does not a team make, but Ollie has been nothing but successful in all the teams that he's been on. So
yeah,
it's going to be, and you know, Dynasty has shown they had success without him, so it's not like they necessarily needed him. But
no, but he's a great addition. I've played with him for a couple of years, and he's a great teammate, great addition to your team. Has a lot of knowledge about the game. You know, we've been playing the game for going on like 19 years now.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to have all that knowledge.
Yeah, and
he's
a motivator too. He's a motivator.
Definitely a motivator. You know, he knows what to say to get you up, and he'll bring that to them. You know, I think that was a little bit of what they were lacking in the past couple of years.
Yeah, and also Alex Goldman, in my opinion, one of the most talented players. So it just depends on which Alex Goldman's going to come to play.
Yeah.
And he, man, he really can be an incredible weapon when he's on his A game. So, you know, the fact that he is surrounded by so many good players, I mean, there's not a player on the Dynasty roster that's not amazing.
Yeah, you look out there right now, you got Glenn Takamoto, who I think is one of the best players of all time. You know, he's just a sneaky player. He handles, very crafty. Can handle 2-on-1s very well. Doesn't buckle under the pressure. And Alex Frazier, if he gets into his front game mentality, he's unstoppable. You know, he's one of those guys that is just very fast, he's quick on the trigger.
He's dominant in the snake. Very aggressive.
You got Yosh Rao, who could shoot guys on the break. And my pick for their team to be their standout is Dalton. I really think Dalton Vanderbilt will be someone that everyone's going to know about all season.
I've been hearing the rumblings coming from some of these practice sessions, and actually that's one of the things I've heard too. Coming out of the West Coast is that Dalton has had his A game here in the
Oh yeah, I've been trying to
so
steal
far.
him on one of my teams for like the past 3 years, but there's always been something going on that he wasn't able to move over. But he's definitely got what it takes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Dynasty played that first point was great. And they able to effectively press the advantage. I think that the teams that are going to be successful on this field is that everyone's just kind of feeling it out right now. One of the changes this year is they do not release the field layouts before the event, which gives the teams that don't have those epic support systems and tons of skids of paint to practice with, it gives those teams more of a chance to compete, and it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the game. So far, I think it's been affecting the game in that these teams are now having to learn the field at the event. So it's kind of
I like that. It's more freestyle. It's more on your toes paintball, instinctive paintball. And it shows that, like you're saying, the teams that do get those cases of paint, just numerous amounts of paint and numerous days on the field, like the Russians, they have a problem with no coaching on the Dorito side and not practicing the field and practicing those lanes so many times that you're going to see a lot of the older, craftier teams like Dynasty, Ironman, Infamous. Even Impact has been around long enough that they got crafty guys on their team.
Especially with all the Philly pickups from the Philly Americans that they got recently.
It's going to be fun to see what this team Chattanooga has for Dynasty this match. If they're going to be a team, like you said, going punch for punch, or if they're going to start turning the tempo onto their side.
Yeah, we got a little technical timeout right now as they're getting the clock set up, but the score is 1-0 in favor of Team Dynasty. And I think that the teams that are going to be effective, as you watch Dynasty in that first point, is they were able to seize the advantage. So what you're going to happen is, because not a lot of guys are going to get shot the break, because the field is 20 feet longer than it was in the 2010 season. Therefore, you're watching more of a gunfight style of play. Guys are going to be making their spots and trying to work their way into moves. Also, this particular field out, it's not really easy to make the front bunkers off the break. So what happens is then you have these guys, they're in their spots, and they're going to have to make the moves off their gunfights and also capitalize on when those eliminations happen, and that's what Dynasty did in that first point.
Yep. On the Dorito side, Matt, if you get up to that second bunker and you get there before the Snake guys get in, you cause a real problem for the Snake side.
Yeah, we've seen that. A lot of guys are getting out to that spot and then just crossing it up. As Chattanooga losing that player on the Dorito side off the break, and Dynasty, 5 guns, still on the field. They're doubled up in that back center. Dynasty rolling their guns right now. Yoshua rolling his gun on the Snake side. 4 players alive for Chattanooga.
Chattanooga's in a good position in this Snake right here. Alex Frazier up in that can.
See,
you got Glenn Takamoto bouncing out to the Dorito side to help out Dalton, which is much needed when you're that front player.
Yeah, and Dalton's in there. You can see he's looking for that angle. He's trying to figure out exactly how far they've gotten on the Snake side of the field, trying to figure out which is the best lane to shut down right now. And you can see also he wants to make a move. And as soon as, he gets some support. So finally Dynasty's made it into the 30-yard line Dorito.
See, the thing with that Chattanooga player was he had the opportunity. He had those guys in on the Dorito side. Oh, and the Dynasty losing their first player, Alex Frazier.
Alex Frazier getting shot.
Dalton getting up into the 50 Dorito. There you go. Chattanooga sliding up into Snake 1, across the Snake 2.
And that's Dan Keene into Snake 2 for Chattanooga. He had a pretty good first game, man. He was relatively consistent. Got shot a couple times, but played pretty well over there. And now he's doing good for Chattanooga right now into Snake 2. Dalton.
Well, he needs his back player to be supportive right now. His back player is shooting inside. He needs to be on the tape, helping him out, getting down the field, talking with him. It just makes you feel a lot more comfortable as a front player.
So Keene now trying to get a shot on Dynasty crossfield on Glenn. And Glenn's able to dodge that. And this guy can really be a thorn because it's tough. You know, it's on this field. It's really tough to come and get those guys out.
Yes.
Once they get to into these bunkers, if it's such a big distance, in order to cross that and take and bunker the player out, it's kind of hard to do on this particular field layout. Oliver Lang in the back corner for Dynasty on the snake side of the field. Looks like Yosh Rao in the stand-up can. Yosh and Oliver talking to each other right now.
CEP coming up in Dorito 1.
And here comes Yosh. Nice job by Yosh Rao. Amazing move. Didn't even have to trade out. And that's, you know, the back player on Chattanooga, I don't know how he did not have his gun up on that lane.
No.
Probably because Dalton is so far up on the Dorito side of the field that he was forced to look over at his immediate threat. So nice job, good communication on Team Dynasty, an amazing move by Yosh Rao, and now he's in the 50-yard line snake. No Chattanooga players left on the snake side. Oh, no, actually they have the back snake corner.
Yeah, he was there. He was the guy that I was trying to say needed to have his gun down the tape, supporting his player, controlling the tempo of this side.
So now really good field position for Dynasty. Yosh Rao crossing the 50-yard line, trying to get a shot. Back center player for Chattanooga. He's not exposed. He's playing tight in there. Oliver right behind Yosh Rao. And Oliver's looking for a move right now. You can kind of see. You can always tell by players' body language when they start getting shifty.
Yeah. Right now, he has the ball. No one's on him. He could really come through the field right now.
Oh, Chattanooga losing two players simultaneously at the back center and 30-yard line Dorito. And that is going to do it here for Chattanooga as Oliver Lang polishes off the last player in the back snake corner. So nice job by Yosh Rao. That was a really good move.
Quality move right there, you know, especially on the snake side with all the coaching that's left in this game, and was still able to pull off that move.
It was a big move because he came all the way from the stand-up can, so
that's a good like 15, 20 feet, right?
Yeah, I don't
say. Sorry, I
like
mean
20 yards.
15 yards.
Yeah, I mean that was a big move, and again, you know, that back center player has forced to look at Dalton on the Dorito side because that's his immediate threat. Yosh Rao seeing his advantage at that particular point. No one was shooting at him, and that's one of those. That's what I was talking about. That's the type of play that is going to be making the difference in this tournament. Is because when you have a couple players on both teams that have been shot, and those openings exist, you have to capitalize on that.
Well, I think that comes with that inexperience too on the CEP side of the field. They had the position in the snake. Dynasty had the position on Doritos, but it's an even game because you're both on the 50s on both sides of the field, so it's spread out evenly. Now, why was not one person watching over your main threat? Right? You know, you got the back center guy looking at the Doritos, which is fine because he stops that guy from coming down. There's no reason that your snake corner should be ever not helping you. He should be on the tape, controlling the opposite corner, and he stops Yosh or anyone else for that. Even if they get in the snake 1 and he crawls snake 2, he could stop him from coming to get him. He can stop him from 15 yards, especially.
Yeah, and that's going to be honestly, again, that's going to be the difference. So, you know, you're looking at this layout. It's easy to make spots off the break. It's hard to shoot players off the break. So you're going to watch guys engaging in these gunfights. So the teams that consistently stay alive in their bunkers, make those counterpunch moves, and make the smart, those small bites. You always talk about this, Nick. You know, we're always talking about small bites. And, I mean, that's one of the evolutions in your game that kind of catapulted you to really dominant status, was that, you know, earlier on in your career, though you were incredibly talented, you would tend to take really big bites when you would see the move. Then you evolved mentally and kind of really figured out, okay, what I can and can't do, and that really, you know, stepped your game up. All right, here we go, breakout. 5 guns up for Dynasty as they spread the field.
CEP makes snake on the break, Dorito 1 on the break. Nice spread for them.
So yeah, though Dynasty had 5 guns up, not able to get a shot on Keen, he's able to make it into snake 1 and then immediately gets into snake 2.
Keen needs to just be shooting that Dorito side. He
Yeah,
needs more paint than 3 pods.
Yeah, he's trying to get a shot on Dalton over there on the snake side of the field.
So this is like what I said on the other side, Matt. When you get to that bunker on the Dorito side and you look snake side and cut it down, you control this whole side on the snake. So basically you control the whole tempo of the game. Same thing with the snake. If you get to the snake and you stop them from coming down, leaving Dorito 1, same exact thing. That's what we've learned in practice.
And now Ryan Greenspan making a bump out here. So 3 players on the snake side of the field. Alex Frazier and Ryan Greenspan. And Ryan is definitely looking to try to make a move. And you see this, you're looking at the snake on your screen right now. It's just Keen in there for Chattanooga, who's playing consistent for Chattanooga. Nikki, how much time did you guys get to practice this field? Just the past couple days, right?
Last week we practiced it against Ironman and Dynasty. And a couple days ago we practiced against Impact. And yesterday we ran some drills with ourselves, and actually a couple more points against Impact.
So everyone's just trying to get as much practice as they possibly can in that like tiny little window that you have.
Yeah. You know, if they're going to give us the opportunity, I would rather them not give us the field until everyone come here and check it out for themselves, and no one plays it. I think, you know, you see a lot of cool paintball moves, a lot of inventive people get to, you know, show their expertise.
Oh. Look at that, Alex Frazier getting shot out of that bunker, and that's what we're talking about. I mean, the difference is, and then immediately Chattanooga losing 2 of their players out of their bunkers. So it's just Keen left alive over here on the snake side of the field for Chattanooga. And here comes Mouse.
Coleman, nice move.
So Mouse has Ryan Greenspan right behind him. Ryan makes a good move to get in a supportive position as Mouse comes up to the 50-yard line. Keen, I think, yeah, he's got to know he's there because his coach is on the side. But here comes Dynasty. And that's going to do it right here. Is nice job by Ryan Greenspan. Pauls Keen off. And Dynasty seizing the advantage that broke open with 2 Chattanooga players dying out of their bunkers. Now the Dynasty had lost Alex Frazier, but still able to keep 4 alive.
Yep.
And this is when that 3-point spread comes into play. You know, Nikki, we've talked about this in previous events. It really hurts you mentally when you get down 3 points in this format of paintball. You know, because it's one of those, you really kind of like dig deep. It's like, oh man, okay, well, we've got that 3-point spread. We haven't necessarily maybe scored a point or scored a couple points, but that's when you got to pick it up.
Oh yeah, 3 points. It's pretty much, if you don't turn around that next point and you go down 4, that's a long road back. And you know, it can be done. It has been done. Mentally, it's just really tough on you. But you just got to turn to your guys and really get, you know, guys shooting off the break and working as a team. I think that's what it comes to. Is if you're down by that many points, it becomes you're looking at what you did wrong, and it was most likely that teamwork, that communication, maybe it was game plans, but you know, the opportunity's still there. They still got a chance to come back. There's, you know, 12 minutes left in this game. 3-0's 3-0.
And it is interesting too, you know, talking about game plans. I think that because the teams really haven't had looks at this field, that the game plans is going to be a much more liquid and evolving thing than they were in the past. Now, that being said, of course, game plans always change depending on what the other team is doing, how well you're executing. But now there's the time span is greatly shrunk down. So, and these coaches don't have weeks and weeks and weeks to formulate these game plans, see what works, see what doesn't, see where you can get off the break, see where you can't, what lanes to shoot. These are all things that are going to have to be figured out on the fly.
Yeah, team's preparation is totally different right now. You know, it's new for them. I think Chattanooga might be taking their first time out and only time out. Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna throw a timeout, and you want to slow someone's roll, you want to do it when you lose 3.
Guys out there, they're not set up. Those 10 seconds on the clock, you better call a timeout and regroup, because if you go out there with 4 guys, you're gonna be even more mad. It's just gonna create a lot of problems.
So the score is now 3-0. 11 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Nicky Cuba, and you are watching San Diego Dynasty taking on Chattanooga CEP here at Galveston Island. First event of the PSP season. How do you feel about the season so far, Nicky? I mean, not so far, but I mean, how do you feel about coming into this 2011 season?
Oh man, I feel really good about the team. I feel like last season was a quality year for us, even though it didn't end the way that we wanted to in either league. Both last events we were going in first place. and we wound up just not doing it. You know, we did it ourselves. We stepped on our own feet and fell on our face, and wound up taking third places and fourth places. But coming into this event, we've had a season to put underneath our belts. We had a season to work together. I think that really helps out a team when you familiarize yourself with your teammates for that long of a time.
I agree.
Most people say it's 3 seasons, and that's the going call for a team to get good.
To gel.
To gel. I feel like we gelled a lot quicker than any team I've been on.
It's the experience. There's so many veterans on that team.
Yeah.
Everyone's got, there's guys with 10, 12, 13 years experience playing on your team.
Yeah, and then we got the younger guys who are really coming into their own, really understanding the game. They've evolved into such great players that like to just sit back and watch them play sometimes, and it's going to be an interesting year for us.
All right, let's see on this breakout. You're looking at Dynasty streaking out to the snake side of the field.
And
able to make it out clean.
3 in the back center.
3 in the back center. Real heavy guns for Dynasty as Alex Goldman all the way into the 50-yard line. And the 3 guns up worked for Dynasty as they shoot 2 guys off the break, and a penalty is assessed on Chattanooga. So it does not look good for Chattanooga. CEP here as Dynasty streaking down the Drew side of the field. Alex Goldman destroying Keene. Nice job by Team Dynasty. So, that actually worked for them. They, for the first time that I've seen so far in this event, you had 3 players in that back center gunned up, trying to get those G's off the break, and they're able to do it.
But I don't think we noticed that they started out with a penalty.
Oh, they started
So
out
they
with a
had
penalty.
4 guys. I think that's why, you take a guy off one side, leaving 3 guys on 5. It's pretty much game over. This game is pretty much game over. Looking at it with these 2 penalties, mindset of a new team. I don't know what's going on in their pit. Looks kind of mellow. And, if you're going to come back from something like this, you got to be upbeat. Just, getting your players fired up. I know it's 4-0, but at least get a couple points on that board and go out swinging.
Yeah, and Dynasty's looking real strong. Now, they are playing the rookies to the Pro Division in Chattanooga. So, it's really tough to tell that, this isn't really a test for them. However, Chattanooga just played Impact this morning and only lost by a point. So, they did show that they can at least hang with some of the, and again, Impact, I think, one of the better teams in the world. At least they have been the past couple years. So, not really starting out as strongly as they would have liked, though they did win the game. So, win's a win.
Win's a win.
Win's a win. Just win, baby.
Yeah.
Just win. So the score is now 4-0 with 11 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here in this match. San Diego Dynasty taking on Chattanooga. I'm Matty Marshall. I'm up here with Nikki Cuba from Team Infamous. So what are we looking for from Infamous this year?
First places. First place. That's what we're about. We got, our coaching staff is top notch. Our players, our sponsors, everything's top notch, man. Everyone's really hungry. We've been putting in a lot of time in the off season, as players, training, and as a team, we've been getting in a bunch of practices. So.
All right, here we go. Breakout. Dynasty, 5 guns up again.
Dalton trying to make a big bite.
Yeah, that was a really big bite. And he gets shot off the break.
Hey, and they're testing things now. It's 4-0. They want to see if certain plays work here and there.
Yeah, and Dynasty able to shoot 2 Chattanooga players off the break. And Chattanooga's still with a player in that penalty box, and he'll be coming out in 17 seconds. But yeah, this is definitely, if you want to test something out, this is the time to test it out. You might as well get some of the guys off the bench and get them some reps too. And Yosh Rao coming out here on the snake side of the field. Ryan Greenspan. Looking at Alex Frazier, he was in there, snake, 50-yard line snake. Chattanooga just getting eaten alive right now by Team Dynasty. So the score is going to be 5-0, and just Chattanooga not putting up much of a fight here in their second game of the day.
But now they're going to start with 5 guys. hopefully that will give them some motivation to get a point up on the board.
Yeah, and also,
otherwise we're just going to see Dynasty trying, new plays, trying to take more real estate and really close this game down.
Yeah, it's Brandon Short from last game we watched on the Ironman. He was able to run and gun off the break around the corner of the 30-yard line Dorito on the Dorito side, and able to do that effectively. We just saw Dynasty try the same move and get shot. So
did Brandon go on the inside or the outside?
He went on the outside.
Okay, Dalton was going on the inside.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see.
And he had his gun down.
And he had his gun down.
That's why I think Brandon's awesome running and gunning. He's one of the straightest shooters when he's doing that. I think that's one of the best things that he excels at.
And it was also interesting earlier on, we saw the Ironman hand the Russian their first loss in 2 tournaments. I mean, the Russians went 12-0 for 2 tournaments in a row. And now they walk into this event and lose their first game. And they play Dynasty later on, too. So
kind of expect that, though. Well, that's just me. I know that you're saying that they went 12-0, but that was at the end of the year. That's when Russians actually play paintball. 6-0, 6-0. They went, and then they come here, which is the first event. And first event, for some reason, they always lose real bad.
It's just funny because if anyone would have the resources to practice in the off season, you think it would be the Russians.
Yeah.
They should be, if any team is going to come out firing in the first event of the season, it should be the Russians.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Why take some, that time to get momentum or just to get up for the season. But it seems like the first 2 events, they just have problems all the time.
Yeah, and they have an indoor practice facility. I mean, I know it's cold. It's super cold in Moscow. In the winter, here we go, breakout. Chattanooga, now Chattanooga tripling up that back center. And Dynasty, pretty standard breakout. Didn't try to take anything crazy. And then now secondarying out across the field, snake side and Dorito side. And then now into the snake.
Down another
Ryan Greenspan.
And Dalton making a nice move on that Dorito side when he sees that no one's there.
And Oliver Lang up to the center.
Smart move for Oliver. He cuts down anyone trying to fill out. Dalton needs to be wrapping around.
Ooh, and Chattanooga they just losing guys out of their bunkers, and Dynasty is just looking really dominant right now. See Oliver Lang just running through the field, tearing people up. And it's going to be 6-0 in favor of Dynasty. So it's been all San Diego Dynasty so far in Chattanooga's second game of the day. This is Dynasty's first. And I'll tell you what, Dynasty, they look good. They look real good. And again, I just don't know if it's Dynasty's looking real good or Chattanooga is, not able to elevate their game to Dynasty's level. I mean, but again, they played Impact real solidly this morning. So there's really no excuse, and plus this is the pros, so you don't really ever have an excuse.
No.
So who are you looking out to be like the breakout stars this year? I know you were mentioned Dalton earlier on. There's going to be a name that people are going to start to know. Dalton playing on Dynasty, playing on the Dorito side. Is there anyone else out there that, like on this Chattanooga team, you actually,
on this Chattanooga team, you got to look out. I'd met this kid a long time ago, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. His name's Mike Zupa, and he's a kid that, he's a young kid, talented, and I'll be looking for him in the next couple of years to, step up a little bit more, but maybe not so much this year. If I'm looking at the Russians, you got to look at Justin Rabikov, of course. He's always a threat for the past 2 years. You're looking at Ironman. They got one of their kids, CC, who's I've actually trained with him since I was on Ironman and before that, and just watching him grow up, he's really understanding the game. Those are guys that I've been looking at practice and stuff like that lately, so I've had a chance to really see them. The other teams I'll have to come out and just keep on checking out.
We got about 24 seconds left to go. Anybody on your team we should be looking at?
Yeah, of course. My team, I really don't like talking about them, but you look at Zach Wake, Marcelo Morgat. Those guys really step up and handle down the snake side. Marcelo's coming off a knee injury. Zach's coming off a knee injury. So it'll be really nice to have those guys back.
All right, here we go. 4 players. Just 4 players for Chattanooga. And I don't see anyone in the box. So Chattanooga doesn't have anybody in the box, but yet they start with 4. Do not know why that happened. And Dynasty, they got all their players left alive. Ryan Greenspan over on the snake side. And here comes Mouse coming up the center. Oh, looks like they lose one of the back center players. So all Dynasty needs to do is just win this point, and they will win the match. 8 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Tons of time left as Ryan Greenspan making his move up on the snake side of the field. No one on the snake side of the field for Chattanooga. And it looks like they might just have the back snake corner and the back center left. No, they have a player. Actually, there's a Chattanooga player at the center A.
Yeah. He's going to get shot right in his feet. Right there.
Nice job by Ryan Greenspan, able to get a shot underneath the A. And now here comes Dynasty, trying to polish off the last Chattanooga player. And Ryan Greenspan able to finish the job, so nice.
Nice game.
Nicely done by San Diego Dynasty as they shut out the rookies to the Pro Division, Chattanooga CEP, who had a good game even though they lost against Impact earlier on in the morning. And the new incarnation of Team Dynasty, they look pretty good.
Yeah, they do. They'll be, that's the team that I'm looking at for this event to be going into Sunday against, we got the practice up probably like, a handful of times. We had a 3-way practice going on. But, got to practice them a handful of times and got to watch them. And, they are rejuvenated, and their guys that they got on the team now, their kids are good quality kids. So it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely should be an interesting year. I'm excited. So nice job, San Diego Dynasty. And, it was interesting, too, because other than that one game where Oliver ran up in the center, really, it just was kind of across the board. Every player in Dynasty seemed to be hitting on all cylinders. Well, I really couldn't figure out one guy, although Yosh Rao did have a pretty awesome move earlier on in the game.
He had an awesome move, I think, like you said, across the board. They're playing as a team, and that's what wins at this level, is playing as a team, communication. They had a lot of it. You look at CEP, and they didn't. It was more individual play, people trying to pull it out for the team, and not really coming together on the field and communicating. That's like 90% of the battle right there is communication and teamwork.
Especially now that there's no coaching in from the pits. And that, I think, is going to really bring that element of communication back into the game, which honestly does give an advantage to the teams that have been around and been together for a long time. So congratulations to San Diego Dynasty as they take down the rookies to the Pro Division, Chattanooga CEP. We got tons more paintball here at the 2011 Galveston Island first event of the season. I'm Matty Marshall. I got Nikki Cube up here, and we'll be right back.